Oh, hello, and welcome to the Joy of Painting Middle-earth. I'm Timbo Took, and this is a time when we get together to paint the most fantastic landscapes Middle-earth has to offer. And maybe we'll paint a scary one a time or two. That can be quite fun, you know. Now, I may not be the best painter in the Shire, but I do love it so, and I'd love for you to paint right along with me. So if you're ready, grab your paints and your brushes, and let's go on an adventure. All right, welcome. You remember a few weeks back when we painted Durin's doors, the entrance to Moria, from a long ways off. Well, today we're going to be painting that a little bit closer, right up at these doors as our fellowship waits to get inside. So I've got this canvas prepared. What I've done is I've painted it black. It's a white canvas I painted black with an acrylic gesso. That's right, I let that dry, and once it dried, I covered that again. I put a mixture of ivory black and a little bit of that liquid clear. Not too much, but just a little. And there are some spots in there I mixed some phthalo blue in. So let's go to it. We're coming here. We're going to have our door, Durin's door, right in here as it's shining out. And we'll put some cliffs, those tall cliffs there. So let's just go into our titanium white. We're just going to put a gray color into that. That rocky gray color. We're just going to make that. We don't want it too light and we don't want it too dark. So we just mix that together, pull it flat out, right across. Now cut across there, just get a bead. And we're just going to start putting in some rock face right here. Right here, we're just coming down with that. You can see the canvas will just take some, just making these rocky features. There we go. Some it'll take more than others. Others we just pull that in, let the canvas grab what it will. There we go. Don't want it to mix too much. But we just want to make these cliffs. So this is going to be, quickly we're just going to come across and we're making this rock face. Now when our fellowship got over there, they couldn't find the doors, but they knew where they were supposed to be. Why? How did they know? Because there were some large holly trees right over there. That's right, they had just come through the land of Holland, where there were holly trees planted all over, and when the elves that lived there got to the end of their land, that's where they stopped planting the holly trees. That's right. So what there was this cliff that entered, and there were two larger than all the other holly trees, that marked the end of their land and the beginning of the Dwarves area. That's right. Back in days of old, the Dwarves and the elves, oh, they had a friendly relationship. Oh, they traded amongst their peoples and all that. And who knows what caused that relationship to spoil. We shouldn't let those types of things happen in our own lives. That's right. We shouldn't go a long time without speaking to people. No. So we're just putting in this. This is quite simple here at the beginning. There we go, that might be a little too white. Let's tone that down just with some ivory black. Put that in there, just get that gray rocky color. There we are. And we're bringing more in. Oh, that's a little darker, but that's okay. You see you have many colors in there. Just bring it down. Not a lot of detail here. We're just putting in a background. This will just be behind everything. There we go. Just bring that down. Put some back over here. And we're going to have our two trees that are they're going to cover a lot of that area. They're going to cover a lot of this. So we'll just push that in, push that in. There we go. Make up some more. You have to just pick it up and push it down. Just mix that together, a little more of that ivory black. There we go. And this is just taking a bit of paint. Just taking a bit of paint and putting it on here. You just want some lighter spots, some darker spots. And that cliff there. There we go. Just bring this down. And we may speed through some of this. This isn't the most exciting work. Oh, it's more exciting than watching paint dry. But there we go. Just pick that up. Push it down. Just put that onto the canvas there. And this is where our door will be, right in there. And we'll come down, this will be the ground down here, and then, oh, the water underneath. So we've got that. Now what we want, like I said, our fellowship has come upon this, and they know where the door is because there's these big holly trees right here. So let's see, we've put this paint in, now we're just going to take some of it off. Right here. And there'll be some branches that come out. There we go. Just choose where you want it. And you can pick that paint up and just put it right back onto your palette. There we go. And let's do the same on the other side. I know we just put this paint down, but we put it down so we could make sure it was behind. That's right. And some branches come off here. Maybe they intermingle with the other ones. There we go. So now we're just going to come to some ivory black. We're just going to put this in, and you'll see we put these holly trees right in here. Getting bigger as they come down. Now we'll come back and we'll highlight that too, so you'll be able to see that there. And you just make it round when you do that. And don't worry, we'll put some leaves and things right here. Now the darker part of this branch is going to be the top, because the light we're going to have coming onto this branch, that's going to be right down here from our door. So we're going to pull that down as we go. And we'll put another branch back this way. There you go. You see, it just comes in there. And we'll make this, like I said, the darker side will be this back side of the tree. There we go. Let's do the same on this side. We're just going to pull this across. And you're like, oh, Timbo, this doesn't look like much. Don't worry, don't worry. We'll get there. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. There we go. And again, this branch is being highlighted from the underneath. So we'll make the darker side right up on top, and that'll just come right up that way, and this one comes right over it, we'll say. Those branches cross there. Very tall trees these were. Just grab some more of that ivory black. We're just gonna put it on right here. There we go. So we've got our tree there, 2 trees. And they come right down this way. We'll put their roots and things in. Oh, that'll be important. That'll be important. Let's just take our knife and we're going to clean that off. Just cleaning the knife with a paper towel. There we go. All right, now what we're going to do, we're just going to scrape out some of this paint where we're going to have leaves and things up here. So you got your branches you'll be able to see through. Just take some of this paint off. Now we've got this clean, dry 1-inch brush, and we're going to come in, we're going to make a leafy color here. So, oh, I didn't even get any green on here. I didn't get any sap green. So I'm just going to take some of this. This is ultramarine blue up here. I'm just going to come in with some of this, and we're just going to make that dark green with our cadmium yellow. There we go. Let's just make that up. Might be a little bright for what we want, so we're going to come in, we're going to darken that up. Just with some of that ivory black. Just going for a dark green color there. Just tap that into your brush. Now we've got that color. We're going to go back. We're going to get that tapped onto the brush, and we're just going to put it in. And it's not even sticking. We're just going to thin this out a bit. There we go. Just get that color there. Now that we've got that thin, we can just put that in. Oh, it's a little bright, but that's okay. Oh, and it's sliding down. It's a little too wet. Little too wet. That's okay. We'll thicken that up a bit. Come up here. Darken that out. There we go. There we are. Just put some of that in. Just putting those tree branches out. Just get those leaves, pop them on. There we go. Darken that up a bit again. There we are. There we go. Let's do the holly tree on the other side. So let's just pull some of this paint that we have on. Just pull that off. There we are. Now, I should have put just a little bit, the paint on a little more thin for a rock that would be in the background. But that's okay. You can, if you just watch this and then you go along. Just don't put so much paint on there. That's fine. That's fine. But, oh, it just comes off, and then we can put those colors in there. That just gives us a spot to paint over. There we go. Come up here, get some more of that. Oh, that's ultramarine blue. Mix that. Maybe a touch of that. Ivory black, just darken that green down. And then come up and we're gonna put in, again, we're gonna put in those leaves. Just in that tree, just in that tree. There we go. Just pop those in. There we go. Those trees standing tall right above those doors. There we are. And maybe some of them hang out there. Now let's clean off that brush. We clean that in our odorless paint thinner, and then we take it to our rubbish bin, and we just, oh, we beat the Sauron out of the brush. That's right. There we go. All right. Now, I have a blender brush. This one I had let some paint dry on that a little too long. So we ruined that one a bit, but that's okay. We don't really ruin it. I'm just going to wipe some of this real thin green that we had. Just wipe that off so it doesn't run all over me. There we go. Now, as I was saying, I let that dry on there a little too much before I washed it. So it kind of ruined it for the blender brush. But it's okay because it got a little stiff. And we can work with a brush like that too. So we just load up that white on that stiff blender brush, and it's not much good for blending these days. But we're just going to come in here. And oh, we had our door right in here. This is where our door was. That's right. Just shining right there. And you see, we just put that in. Move it lightly. There we go. This is where our door is. And that gives us that bit of glow. And you see, we had that phthalo blue already down. And so that picks up that phthalo blue that was underneath. There we go. And we just bring that in there. There we are. Now let's wash that off. Now, we've got this small blender brush, and this one is still nice and soft. Still nice and soft. So what we're going to do, we're just going to load some paint up on this one. And right where our door is, the arch of that door, we're just going to drop in that white. Just bring that in if you have to. Knock some of the blue you're picking up. Knock that off, come back into the white. Get some more there. And we're just making that arch. That archway that makes up that door. There we go. Knock some of that off again. Come back to our white. Pick that up and we'll come this way. There we go. Wash off that brush. We're picking up a little too much. Get it nice and dry, and then we just turn that into a soft glow. And you're just barely touching this. Just barely touching. Knock off some of that blue. Let's grab some more white. We're getting a little dull in there. Put some more of our white down. Knock it off. And come back and blend some of that together. There we go. That just gives us that glow. That glow on the rock. At first they couldn't see it. And some in the party were a little upset. That is right. Some were upset that they had come that way when old Gandalf didn't know exactly where that door was. They were upset with old Gandalf. He knew, of course. Gandalf knew. Now we're going to come into this white. We've got this round tip brush. We're just going to come in here. We're going to thin it out a bit. Thin that out just a bit, just a bit. And now old Timbo's hands aren't too steady. But we're just going to come. We just make those lines that were in the door. Oh, Durin's door, those were elf runes. There we are. There we are. Just knock off any blue that you're coming up with when you do that. Knock it off the brush. Come back into some white. Load it up on there. And go back to it. There we go. There we are. And it gives it that look that it's glowing by doing that soft glow behind and then coming on a little more solid with our details. There we go. And then, oh, there was some elf writing on here. I'm not too good at that. But if you're not close enough to read it, that's probably how I prefer it. So we just want it to look like there's some writing on here. Oh, and you remember what it says. Oh, you remember how it says, "Speak, friend, and enter." Oh, my grandpappy Took, he asked Gandalf, oh, how they were going to open the doors. And oh, Mr. Gandalf, he told my grandpappy Took that he was going to use his head, just knock his head right against the door. Oh, he didn't understand. The wizard was a little impatient at that moment. So we come here, and we're just putting those elf runes on there. Now, if you're doing this and you're good at calligraphy and stenciling, you might make that perfect. But old Timbo is just making it look like something's there. My eyesight's not that good anyways, so I wouldn't be able to tell what the letters were if I was standing back looking at that, just like on this. Here we go. Like I said, we're just coming in here and we're just putting the appearance of writing. These, I'm not actually writing anything out. Oh, I'm not as studied in my letters as some of you might be. I couldn't, even if I had all day long, I couldn't put all the letters of what it says there. But that's okay. That's okay. We just want to make it look like there's letters on there. Maybe somebody who's more learned could read that. There we go. So what we're doing is we're in between. We're just washing our brush, knocking off that blue that we're picking up. Now there were 7 stars on there. Oh, the big one right here, shining out. We just put those stars in. There we go. Now, of course, when Mr. Gandalf came through those mines, he came from the other way. So he didn't have such a problem with these doors as he came out, because you can just push them and they go out. But here, when they came up, this just looked like flat stone. And there we go, our 7 stars. Oh, we picked up a bit of blue there. And that one didn't show up too well. Let's see if we can get a little more white in there. There we go. And then under those 7 stars, there was a crown. There was a crown right here. Now I've picked up a lot of that blue. That's okay. Just come back. Just come back, get some of that white. Just roll that out. Roll that out. Make it nice and thin. And then come back here and we can put some details on this crown. As we can, as we can. There we go. We'll say that's a crown. Now, of course, when this dries a bit, you can always come back and put in more of these details. These details, normally we do these landscape paintings, and all these landscapes we can just put down real quickly, but then when we're doing these details, it takes quite some time, and sometimes it works out better if you let it dry in between painting sessions. But most of the time we're doing a wet on wet technique, just putting these details in as quickly as we can. Just painting mountains and lakes and trees and those sorts of things. These types of things, they take a while. And there was an anvil right under here. We'll put in this anvil representing these dwarves and their mighty craft of building things. And again, a lot of times when I do this, my head's over to the side, just so I'm not totally in your way, and it can make some of my painting a little crooked. So forgive me if my painting's a little crooked. You don't have to make it crooked if you don't want. All right. Now, of course, we had the trees that were wrapped around these doors. So right here, we had a tree. It just came down. The symbol of a tree, anyways. There we are. There we go. And the tree would come out with a branch here. And that came back this way. Up this way, there we are. And that tree had some branches that wrapped around. Again, if you take your time on these sorts of things, they turn out really well. But we're just throwing it on there, making it fun. This is just an exercise in fun, that's all it is. That's all it is. We're not painting things to hang in great halls. No, maybe a pub. That's right. Maybe at the Green Dragon is a good place for these to hang. There we go. Right here. Bring that around. And you see, there we are. Now we do the same on the other side. We do the same on the other side. Let's take this over here. There we go. Every time we do that, we're picking up blue paints. We have to knock that off. And bring this branch right here, and this comes down right to the bottom. There we are. And of course we have some branches that wrap around. There we go. So we'll call those trees, There we are. And of course our door, we'll make a faint line right down the center here. That's where it would open. There we go. Look at that, our Doors of Durin. Now again, you can take your time and you can make these look fantastic. But for us, we're just having fun. All right. Now let's just take, we have that, it's glowing bright, so that's going to highlight our tree here. So let's come to some of this. Oh, we just got that mess we made that's mixed up with some of the blue and some of that white. Now we're just going to come and we're going to highlight our tree right here. And we just take that right along the edge. We're just making that highlight where it's making that tree glow. There we go. And just bring it across. There we go. There we are. Do the same to the other side. Now you pick up quite a bit of black, so maybe you want to knock that off your paintbrush. Come back, let's get some more. Some of that's blue, some of that's white. Just load up your brush and just come right here. And again, just slide that over. There we go. We're picking up a lot of black there. Just highlighting that tree. That's all we're doing. Just where that light comes out. There we are. Just load up the brush and just put it on there and bring it across. Maybe just get a little bit of blue to put in here. There we go. Bring that down. Just make that trunk shape there. There we go. Now we're going to do some water here. We'll make our water. So what we do is we just come to that white. There we go. Just load some of that titanium white onto our brush. It doesn't matter if it's messy. This is messy water. So what we do is we're just going to come, and you're going to see there was some phthalo blue already down. So you see our water just appears. That dark, murky water. Who knows what's in that water? We just bring that up. There we are. Right there to the shore. There we are. Now let's clean off that brush. And still just using that 2-inch brush. Now we come back to our white. Just push it right onto the brush. Just push that onto your brush. And now we're going to come back, and this is where that's highlighting. So you see that's creating that highlight on that grass. There we go. Right down to our shore. There we are. You see that? There we go. Now again, my head's a little crooked, so my ground might be a little crooked. So we'll just bring that up a little. All right, now we're going to come back. We've got this white on here. We're just going to cut that on to our palette knife, and we're just going to put in the shoreline. Just right here. Just cut that across. There we go. There we go. Now we can put some things down here just in the water. All right. Oh. All right, now we've got this fan brush. Now our trees, they had roots that reached right down to that water. They reached right into the water. So I'm going to this dark brown, and that ivory black and brown, and we're just going to put in some roots here. Just put in those messy, gnarled tangle of roots. You can't see it real well right here at first. We'll do this one as well, and we'll come back and we'll highlight this. So he's got a big tangle and knot of roots that come down. There we go. Right there, right into the water. So, like I said, you can't see that real well. So we clean off that brush, just beat the Sauron out of it. Come back to that highlight color. Now we're going to take that and we'll put that right on the root. Just show that going right down into the water. There we go. And this one comes this way. There's one right over here. Just that tangled mess of roots. Just coming down, reaching into the water. Getting a drink so they can stay strong. There we go, right there. Put that in, bring them right down to the water. Here too, right here, there we are. Just put those roots in, just bring them over this way. There we go. There we are. Now we still have some time. We can still spend some time together. So maybe there's something there coming out of the water. Why don't we just take our small, slender palette knife and maybe there's a tentacle of some sort sticking up right here. Ooh, what do you think of that? Ooh, ready to ambush our party. There we go. Now let's just grab some of that white where he's disturbing the water. Right there. So causing a ripple right there. And that ripples out away from him, right there, causing those ripples. Oh, the watcher in the water, that's what that is. Oh, you know he's a danger. He's a danger. That's right. Now we can put our party in. Like I said, this is all wet right here, but, well, let's see if we can't maybe we draw in a wizard right here. This can be a little difficult when we still don't have it quite dry. We're painting over this wet. Sometimes that wet on wet technique really works out. Other times it can just be a bit difficult for you when you're trying to do details like this. But as I said, we're just friends having fun. So we'll get some of that white on here and we'll highlight this wizard's hat. There we go. And that brim of the hat comes right there. Maybe his hat's not so pointy right now. And he's standing here Trying to think, what is that password? Again, when this dries, you can come back and you can put more details on our wizard. And you can even put in the other members of the party too. I just thought Gandalf, since he's sitting here trying to think of it, maybe we could just put him in. Maybe we could just put him right there. Let's get this gray wizard right here. There we go. He's trying to think of what that phrase was. To open the door. That's right. What was it? Oh, you know. Speak, friend, and enter. Why, it's the Elvish word for friend. Melon. That's right. That's right. Old Gandalf remembered eventually. Eventually he did. There we go. Put him right there. Maybe we'll take our palette knife and we'll get some of this lighter color here. Can we put in his staff? Can we put in his staff right here? There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Put that right there. There it is. And maybe his arm there. There's our wizard. There is our wizard. There we go. All right. And there we go. There we go. That's fun. That's fun. I hope you enjoy that one. I hope you try that out. You can probably do a much better job than me, but I just thought that would be a fun thing to do on this evening. And it's turned to evening while I've painted this. So I hope you go back and try, and maybe we'll do some more with this painting down the road. Down the road. All right. I appreciate you joining me. Remember, if there's any of these prints, I do have some prints available. And you can go to timbotook.com to find those. Now, I appreciate you being here. Goodbye, and God bless.